G'day, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all-round legends. You're joining us for another week of Two Beards, a podcast on Wrexham AFC. I'm your host, Rousey, and that is Adrian. Mate, how are you going?
I'm still catching my breath after the weekend, mate. That was some breathtaking football on the weekend, and
Mm.
you could look at two sides of the coin, and I think we look at, is it the Great Escape or is it just typical Wrexham? Is it just that's the way we play now? So I'm very intrigued to get into that.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely going to get into the weekend's game on this episode. Um, we've got a very, very good episode planned for everyone today, so I hope
Oh,
you
so excited.
stay tuned and sit through the whole episode and listen to us have a good chin wag, but we'll announce that very, very shortly. But we won the game in under 60 seconds.
One in 60
One
seconds. I
in
like
60
that.
seconds, which was amazing. So we are going to talk about that as well. The
Yep.
fact that Wrexham can win a game in about the same amount of time it takes me to, blow my load of bed.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. But also, we also had our women take out an incredible win on the weekend as well, and we'll touch on that too. That was a freaking massacre, and I am very much excited to talk about that as well.
That was an absolute massacre. So, well, loads of stuff going on. But guys, if you like this sort of content, if you want more of this, if you want to keep in touch with us, be sure to like, share, subscribe. And we post every single week. We've got a few episodes coming up every week. You've got review episodes on the podcast. So yeah, be sure to send us a like and subscribe. And if you want to get in touch with us, just comment down below. Nice and simple.
Exactly.
Got a
And you
fuckhead
know what?
program, cost you $5 a month to join the fuckheads, which is our little fan group. It's absolutely banging in there at the moment. It gets you access to our fans only Discord. It gets you 10% off all of our merch in our merch store, free shout outs and giveaways, and much more. So be sure to come along and join that.
Well,
Now,
I want to get into the shout outs while we can, because I want to kind
Adrian,
of list them off, and I
take
kind
it
of want to
away,
go
mate.
from, so I want to look into, and I just want to say thank you to Sarah. We've got John, we've got Will, we've got Chris, we've got Aaron, and Chris, you wanna
And
just
we've got Ryan.
do it. There it
Fuck,
is. Ryan
that's
who?
right.
Ryan who? Who's Ryan?
Ryan from Me, the Wife, and Wrexham.
There we are. That was a really cool thing. He had a birthday on the weekend, and we wanted to make him an honorary fuckhead. You can see that on the Me, the Wife, and Wrexham page. Rousey did an incredible edit, probably his best work. Check that out as well. I'm sure Rousey will put a link in the description too. But also, just to top it all off, the gang was just buzzing on the weekend, because not only did we have the win, but as soon as that whistle went, he joined the Discord straight away, and all of a sudden it was party time. So it was very good.
Oh yeah, after games is definitely the best time of the night for us.
When we
But
win, when we
when we
win.
win, yeah. Or you can just come along and watch me get high. But anyway,
That's what I do. That's what this podcast is basically. It's just me watching him get high on camera.
all right. So now we're going to jump to our guest, our chinwag episode. It's been a
Oof.
little while since we've had a chinwag episode, but Adrian, we have a really good guest today.
Very
Really
good
good
guest
guest.
today.
He goes by the name of Carl, but he runs a YouTube channel called the Welsh Beast. Let's get him on here. Let's go. Come on. Welsh Beast. He's a good guy. You can't wait to have this guy. I'm super pumped. So let's do it. After this break, we'll see you. Let's go. All right. So some say the mythical Welsh Beast only comes out at night to hunt Chester fans, but we've actually managed to find him and get him here on our podcast. And it's my greatest pleasure to announce someone who I've been watching for quite some time. He's got a very, very well known YouTube channel, and he's developing obviously quite a unique brand, and a brand that is hopefully let's go worldwide. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you none other than the Welsh Beast. Hey.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me. You can worry about the views now. You can worry about the editing. You can worry about the uploading. As I told you in the off air, it's my first time being a guest, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, mate,
That's so
good. We are stoked to have you on. So
100%.
I love your flair with all your episodes that you bring out, and very much my spirit animal almost, because
Definitely.
I come at it with the same optimism and the same fire, and I just fucking love this team that we've got right now. Like, how good are they really?
Yeah. At this point, it'd be interesting because when I was watching your last video about the Salford game, just seeing, how, your take on, and how passionate you got around it, I was just like, it's just exactly what, we both thrive off of. And we obviously watch your videos for a while, but like, it just cements the fact that like your brand is about Wrexham. It's obviously about Welsh sports in general, but also to kind of fixate on that passion that you have for Wrexham. But how long, obviously you're born in Wrexham, how long have you been following the club for?
Well, it's I'm not a massive, believe it or not, massive diehard fan. I've come and gone over the years. My first Wrexham game was December 92, Chesterfield. Wow. And growing up, I was a big Liverpool fan as well. So I dipped in and out over the years. I've come and gone, and obviously what's happened lately has just sort of reignited my interest, a lot of people's interest.
Yeah.
And it's been great to be a part of this. I mean, I moved away from Wrexham for a number of years, and at times lost a bit of interest, stopped following. I came back in 2018, and it was kind of difficult to say. It was strange coming back after nearly 10 years.
Wow.
And so it kind of happened at the same time. I was kind of looking for something, and I was kind of a bit lost, having just come back from after 10 years. And it happened at the same time. But obviously, I'm from Wrexham. I've paid attention to them all my life, but dipped in and out. Not gone as much as I perhaps wanted to over the years, but growing up in the 90s, the Brian Flynn era, the cup runs, they were doing well in the league, the Mickey Thomases, Gary Bennett's,
Amazing.
Obviously, the periods with Dennis Smith was very successful. I mean, the problems with Hamilton. So Wrexham's always been a part of my life, but I've dipped in and out over the years.
Amazing.
Oh, lovely. So was there like a particular moment back in 2018? What game was it?
Well, no, I think the takeover, I was looking to do something just before I was looking to start going to games again, just as the takeover happened. But then we had COVID, we had lockdowns. So it was around about that period when I was looking to start going to games again and start following the club again. We had COVID, and there was lockdowns, and then the takeover started to happen. So it all seemed to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a journey since then.
Jeez. Well, I think it's like what got me obviously interested was your YouTube channel, which I'll put the link in the description to the Welsh Beast YouTube channel. But you're very much trying to create a brand. Would that be pretty accurate? That like a Welsh Beast brand?
It is, yeah. I'm not the Welsh Beast. It's the brand, and the idea is to focus on other Welsh sports when I can find the time. It's hard enough focusing on Wrexham at the moment. Yeah. What's going on? It's non-stop, isn't it? Every day there's something happening, and it's just so full throttle. But the idea is to expand into other Welsh sports and do other stuff. I think there's some boxing on there. There's an interview I did with a kickboxer.
Yeah,
Russ Williams, who's very well known in the area. Very successful kickboxer in his day. And so that's an interview I did with him a couple of years ago. So the channel will have more stuff eventually. Maybe with other famous athletes, if I can interview them, looking at other sports, short films. Again, it's a brand. Some clothing is in the pipeline. Nice. And so, that's the idea going forward, to build a brand.
Oh, I love it.
Well, actually, that actually goes nicely into my next question, which was, are there any other sports that I guess you're passionate about? Obviously, you built this brand to cover a lot of Welsh sports, but I mean, for example, I know Wales recently played in the Rugby World Cup. Is that something that you keep an eye on, or is there particular sports that you gravitate towards?
I think boxing
Nice.
would be the next sport after football. The Welsh football team played last night against Croatia. They
Yeah,
won 2-1. And a lad from Wrexham scored the 2 goals, Harry Wilson, who's
that's
now
it.
playing at Fulham. He got 2 goals. It was a bit of a nervy end, but they won 2-1. Yeah, so I think football, boxing. I used to like a lot of snooker. There's some famous Welsh snooker players.
Yeah,
But yeah, football and boxing, really.
Nice.
Perfect.
And
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this YouTube boxing scene that seems to be going on at the moment with you guys like KSI and Jake Paul and Joe Weller and all these people coming out and doing YouTube boxing? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Good luck to them. If I was a bit younger and a bit more famous, I'd give it a crack. But but I know boxing promotion is something that I've looked at in Wrexham. And me and Ross Williams were going to do something one day. I might still go back to that, but I think what they're creating is a massive, certainly KSI with his company Misfits, a massive brand. It was packed on Saturday. I kept an eye. I didn't pay for the pay-per-view, but I kept an eye on it, and they're doing their thing. They're creating events, sold out, lots of interest, generating a lot of money. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not against it. Good luck to them. I think more of the same. The way they sell fights and create a brand and create interest, traditional promoters could, learn from.
Yeah, I mean,
you have world champions who don't make as much money. You have world champions who don't sell the tickets. They've used their fame to create an event, and it's massively successful.
Yeah, and getting the other boxers like on board as well, like you said, the well-known people who aren't selling the tickets, being able to fight against KSI or fight against Jake Paul, Logan Paul, these kinds of people. I don't know, like I the Australian boxing scene, I keep an eye on it a little bit. We've got Acosta Zoo's son, Tim, so he's doing his thing in Australia, but no one's really paying money or like you said, selling out, or it's not as big. And I feel like America has done a really good job with obviously their like Las Vegas kind of scene and their fighting scene. But it is really interesting that you said that, because I wouldn't have never probably have seen any European, UK, any form of boxing that side of the globe if it wasn't for those people. So it's a very fair point that there is something to learn there.
But obviously Tommy Fury as well is by profession a trained boxer. He took part in Love Island on ITV over here, and that sort of gave him the unfair sort of label as a reality star, but he's a boxer before then. He shouldn't really be involved with these people. He struggled against KSI, by all accounts. Some people think Tommy Fury lost, but he is a trained boxer, and he has a boxing background, so he should be focusing more on a more traditional career, I think. But there's less money involved at the moment.
That's it.
You got to go where the money is, I guess. At the end of the day,
follow the money.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm sort of I sort of watch it. I've seen a few of Jake Paul's fights. I watched obviously KSI versus Logan Paul when that went down, because that was just all over the internet. You couldn't get away from it. But yeah, I mean, I actually do boxing myself as a bit of exercise to keep active. So, it's something that I like, just like punching things just to get off a bit of frustration and from the day. And it's just great exercise. So, it's hopefully something I can pick up more and more and do more and more as it comes along.
Some good fighters from over your end, Danny Green.
Yep, Danny Green. Yep.
Costa Zoo.
He's long retired now, but he's someone I followed when he was active. You've got from next door, Joe Parker.
Yep.
He fights a lot in the UK. He's on the Tyson Fury card in a couple of weeks. So as you mentioned, Costa's son, he fought at the weekend.
Yep.
So yeah, there's some interesting boxes from Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
It's definitely something that I'd love to have a weird crossover where one of the Welsh boxers and one of the Aussie boxers get on a ticket, and we can, even if it's remotely, get on a Zoom call and watch the game together. It'd be very fun.
So I want to give you the floor for a minute. I just want your opinion. How good is our team? Like, fuck me, how good is our team?
Wrexham.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's the best squad they've ever had, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what's been assembled over the last few seasons, you look at the players and where they've come from. You know, your George Evans now, Fletcher. Fletcher's a Premier League player.
Yeah.
You know, he's played multiple Premier League clubs. Elliot Lee, Tozer. These are not League Two players.
Yep.
And the way and what they did last year was special, and they're doing well at the moment. It's been inconsistent, but it's inconsistent for everybody.
Yep.
No one's quite settling, but they're fifth in the league now, 3 points off the top. They'll make the playoffs. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, agreed. And that's something that me and Rousey have been debating. You know, Rousey's heavily on the bandwagon of back to back. And he's very, very much on the, we can do it. And here's the thing, that Wrexham's basically, in the way that they've played and clawed back draws, clawed back those wins. And, even that Mansfield draw is now going to probably play a big part, because that was going to be a lot bigger than we thought at the time. It's obviously possible. And I think, like you said, it's inconsistency and anything can happen. A couple of weeks ago, Stockport were written off and now they're top of the table. So it's just a weird league. And I think we're all just getting a bit used to it, I think.
They are my team to beat, Stockport. I think they're going to be well up there, because they've proven that over the last few seasons, winning the National League, pipping us to the title. They did well last year in the end. They've got form. And they're looking impressive, I think, now. They're on a bit of a resurgence after a bad start. They'll be up there, I think. They're the team to beat at the moment.
Yeah, the last 5 straight wins from Stockport. So they're definitely looking very threatening. I like to think of it as we talk about being inconsistent, but even though we're inconsistent, we're just slightly more consistent. We're not losing games. So
and I've got the local paper here. I've got our local paper, the leader. I don't know if you can see that on the back page.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So we've got a reputation now. I wish they'd, stop it for a while. It's a bit too much at times.
Yep.
Let's have an easier day out.
Yeah.
But we're getting a reputation for our persistence, our tenacity. We're not giving in. And you knew on Saturday, that last 10 minutes, what was happening. I mean, we missed a few sitters, had several chances. You think we're going to get this. It's come to the point now where you're not worried. You kind of wait for Wrexham just to come alive in the second half. But it's not good for the health.
I like to think of it as waiting for the dragon to wake up.
Yeah.
Well, Rousey actually said to us, in our little group, he basically said at halftime, I'm not worried. And I was like, "What? It's 2-1, mate. We got to be worried. The possession, we're not on at the moment." Because I'm not worried. And it got to the 80th minute, or around the 85th minute. I think we asked the same question, Rousey, do you still think we can win it? And even just get a draw from this? He goes, yeah, I think we can. And I honestly, it is that thing of never doubt what Wrexham can put out, because geez, they surprised me at least. I didn't think we could pull that off. I thought we could pull a draw off. I didn't think we were going to get the win. So just see, Davis kick that goal towards the end. Just lit some fire in myself, and necked a few more beers after that.
But Salford were on their last legs towards the end of that game. The last 20 minutes, they were struggling. And I think the Fletcher's goal just finished them off. And they were just so vulnerable. We hit them again. And it was so fast. I mean, I think the equaliser knocked the shit out of them. And they just did not, they couldn't regroup after that. And
exactly.
The winning goal so quickly, they couldn't cope with it. But
they were still get this right. They were still on our stream that we had on the iFollow. They were still playing the replay of the previous goal
as we were getting that play started.
as the other goal was starting to form. And we were just like, as soon as they had to cut the replay short because there was another charge going down. It was just like,
well, that's how quickly it happened. 2 goals so quickly, you can't stop that.
Nah, can't stop it at all. And now I want to ask your opinion on the refereeing of the last probably couple of weeks, because something that Rousey and I have brought up on the pod a couple times is there was a hope that when we got to out of the National League that, yay, we're getting professional refs who are not also plumbers. We're getting people who are, you're getting paid good money to do their job. And then they have put out what I believe to be worse than National League standard refereeing, especially the last couple of weeks. What did you make of the Salford, officiating?
Well, I don't think it's the worst I've seen.
Yep.
And certainly Crew, that was just a shambles. But I thought this was, I think he had most of it right, from my opinion. What was going on between Tilt and Mullin, I think he could have dealt with that better. I think he deserved at least punishment. He was wrestled him to the ground.
That was a straight red.
Perhaps punished him for that.
That was a straight red.
And Matty Lund, who has really pissed me off. Did you see him go down clutching his leg?
Yeah.
Claiming he was injured. He was claiming his leg had been hacked off. He'd never walk again.
Yep.
He tried to calm the referee, but as soon as the referee wasn't having it, he was up and running.
Yep.
And another thing Matty Lund did, he claimed that second goal for himself. I thought he scored it when I was at the ground.
Yeah.
He took the shot. It went in. He ran off celebrating as if he'd won the World Cup.
Yeah.
But it came off Smith. When I saw the replay, I saw the highlights, it came off Smith. He's claiming goals that are not his. He's tried to con the ref.
Yep.
He's claiming goals that are not his. What a shithead. He's a shit. An absolute
He's the worst.
shit. You know? I don't want to see him again. He's upset me.
He had us fucking riled up. He had us so fucking riled up. We were just, me and Rousey were just like, right. Like, especially just when, I think that's why we mentioned it off air, but like, I think it was JJ got a yellow for feigning a free kick. And like you said, it probably was accurate, but it's funny because when you see what happened there, you're like, at least be consistent. At least just have some fucking consistency. Because if you can get if the ref could have been consistent, I wouldn't have minded it. Like, yeah, no worries, it's a yellow because the other guy got a yellow, but the other guy didn't even get a look at. Like, Lund didn't get looked at all. Like you said, the Undertaker took out Mullin, pulled a whatever like move like you see on the WWE. Like, it was just like, again, it was just inconsistent, and that's the one thing. Yeah, pile driver, that's the word.
Yeah, in any game, that's a straight red. Straight red. You should have been fucking sent off.
At least something. Give him a card. Fuck.
But it was a fiery first half. There was something bubbling. There was a good atmosphere there from early on, and you sensed it like it felt like a cup tie. It felt like a big game.
Yep.
To be fair, there was something. There was a good atmosphere. There was something exciting about it from the start, and it started off very feisty. I think because that challenge was so early, he kind of let it go. But then again, it's a different referee. But Palmer got a yellow card. That was the worst referee I seen against Crew. He got a yellow card when kicking the ball away in the first few minutes, when a warning perhaps would have done.
Yep.
So, but I thought this referee was better. But there is the complaint with these refs that when teams come to the racecourse, they waste time.
Yes.
They don't take the throw-ins from the right positions.
Yep.
They take their time with goal kicks. And I think what Wrexham fans want is to see a bit more punishment for this type of behaviour.
Yeah.
And I think Salford came there with the idea of disrupting Wrexham, being physical, being dirty, and wasting time.
Yep.
But they do try and calm the ref in terms of taking free kicks from the wrong position, taking throw-ins from the wrong position. Referees need to keep an eye on that. That's a complaint that I see from the fans.
Yeah, for sure. That was like the big one was Mark Griffiths called it on the commentary. He was saying like basically the ball went out probably closer to like the box end basically, and the guy took it about halfway, and it's like, okay, why are we letting this happen? Why is it not being told to take it back, or better yet, a free kick against him because he's done the wrong thing? And yeah, you're right. It was consistently inconsistent. Is the way that I look at it, and yeah, it was just a weird one. But I would actually like to put another question about the atmosphere that you talked about. What's that been like since, I guess, the takeovers obviously made things bouncing again, but what's it like at, games that maybe would have not been, like, you wouldn't have thought the Salford game would be an important game, but it obviously was buzzing. What's it been like, and what's the atmosphere like at the Racecourse?
Well, the attendance wasn't as high. It was like a few hundred short of what it normally is, under 10,000. That's rare now. We're saying under 10,000 is rare.
Yeah.
Gone are the days now of like 3-4.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't quite a sellout. Salford didn't bring a lot. There's clubs, they're still a relatively small club, even though they have very famous owners. The ex-Man United players, the so-called class of 92. Yep. So, but they were in Wrexham's league a few years ago, weren't they? We last played them, 2018, beat them 5-1. Yep. So, but they're quite a famous club themselves without a massive following. And I said it was a better atmosphere to begin with than I thought. It was a strange one. The music playing was strange. You had some good tunes going. It's like being at your Ministry of Sound. That Boy Slim, Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
So it felt good from the start. But to go back to the atmosphere, obviously there's a massive attendance now. But I think there's a pressure, there's a frustration sometimes. There's an expectation. Yep. That can sometimes, certainly where I am, lead to sometimes negativity.
Yep.
At times. So it can work both ways. You've got people so fired up and so passionate that when things are not going well, that side does come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to see the grounds packed.
Oh,
Pity we can't get that cop sorted soon. Because that's going to sell out.
Sell out.
That is they're just, I don't know what, there's a lot of speculation over what's holding that up. I mean, I don't know, just from stuff I've seen, they've got to get like a sewer replaced and an electrical line or substation repositioned, and then there's like they're talking about something about the Wrexham Trust, which I don't fully understand, so can't really say too much on that.
Well, they still have the lease,
and
they're refusing to sign it. There's an issue. It's been going on a while now. They've agreed to sign over the lease, but they're not convinced. They want to be convinced it's going to the right people. They don't want another Alex Hamilton situation. So they are concerned. They want due diligence done. They want the process to be, even though they've got nothing to worry about clearly.
Yeah.
The lease belongs to the Wrexham Supporters Trust at the moment.
Yep.
So they are reluctant to sign it over yet without certain conditions and the security that the ground is safe. So that's what's holding it up. There's some legal issues. It should be complete. I thought it would have been completed by now. It will happen eventually. It's just taken a lot longer than it should do.
Yeah.
But the funding for the COP has dried up. I don't know what's happening there. About a year ago, we were ready to go. There was a big announcement. There's several funds in Wales where they've tried to apply for funding, for money. We've missed out on some funds. So there's just trying to decide how they're going to finance it. It came down very quickly. The first stage happened very quickly. These issues with the sewage and the substation, they're quite new. I don't think we knew about them till quite recently, considering this process has been going on for so long. This does seem to be come out the blue that most people weren't aware of. So this is another problem to deal with, but the funding's an issue as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess like that they even said it in the doco, was that I think Ryan and Rob, they paid for it out of their own pocket to demolish the cop, and then they, I guess they believed that they were going to get the funding, and something with stand like that does cost a shitload of money, so perhaps they don't have that type of money just lying around. I mean, I like to think they probably do, but I guess that it's got to make business sense to them at the end of the day. And if there is a better way of doing it that's not going to hurt their hip pocket as much, then why not do it that way? So, it's an interesting one, and I'm hoping it gets started soon and gets done, because me and Adrian ourselves will be planning on coming over and doing some things over there. But and if we got any hope of getting to watch a game, it'll probably be when the Cops open.
Correct.
Tell me about it. I'm pissed off this morning because I've missed out on tickets for Notts County.
Oh,
Can't be my
no.
fault.
Oh, no.
Who's buying them? I don't know. But blood, they've gone like that again. My fault. I should have been a bit faster, but they were gone within minutes.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, the allocation is nearly 3,000.
Wow.
I think
'cause
some are being held back for members, but they've gone like that now. You've got to be fast now these days.
How do you
But it's
see that
great to
game
see.
unfolding? If we were to play them this coming weekend, how would you see that game unfolding?
Well, they were looking so good a few weeks ago. They're hitting a bad run. It's a 50-50 game. They're still a quality team. I expect them to be up there. With it being away, you'd settle for a draw, I think. If you can go to Notts County, still a very impressive team, get away with a decent point, you'd take that.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every day of the
It's 2
week.
weeks away, so we'll see. It's 2 weeks away, so it's we haven't got
Creeps
long
up.
to wait. Whereas
Yeah.
they've got a really nice stadium. I've been there a few times. And I mean, that holds about 15,000. It was the best stadium in the National League, because I mean they've had their moments in the Football League over the years, haven't they? But they've got a really impressive stadium. I like going to Notts County.
How far away is the drive for a local like yourself?
Well, I'd go down on the train or the coach, and it'd be a couple of hours. Nottingham,
Wow.
2 hours or so, 3
Not bad.
perhaps, depending on traffic, time of day. It's okay, yeah. It's relatively close.
That's good. Yeah. Because that's one thing that I think it's hard, because like we're in the big country of Australia where things are stupidly far away from each other. Like if I was to drive to Rousey, he's in Perth, I'm in Adelaide. And if I was to drive to him, I think we worked out it'd be 12, 14-hour drive, something like that, something crazy, like almost 24 hours to drive to him. Whereas, when you see like games
I think it's a little bit longer than
from
that.
The Outer Hebrides to bloody Southampton in the UK. We're quite a small island.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It works out a lot better. But like, I think
it's 41 hours, Adrian.
41, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was fair way off there, but that is again, the perspective, right? Is like, I'm obviously shit with geography, but obviously it's incredible to see like when we do play against even just like, the teams in London, which are a little bit further away, that's a lot longer of a trip. Even just more down south. It's just bigger trips, but it's nice to know that like, the passion and thing drives the away fans. And it's something I've noticed, and I don't know if it's true, just seeing from far away, the away troop that goes across, like doesn't matter who's there, it almost seems to be louder than the racecourse. It's almost like we've got something to prove. Is that something that you've seen?
Well, you'll definitely notice it because we stand out against most away teams at their ground.
Yep.
We always seem to be more passionate, more vocal. We've got a very vocal following. I mean, the songs we have, the consistency and, like I said, the passion. And we'll stand out against most teams who don't really have that enthusiasm. But our away following has always been impressive. Always been impressive for decades. We've always taken big numbers everywhere we've gone. And then going back to London, there's a lot of clubs down that way, certainly last year. And it's quite easy to get to these days, even through London into Kent and Surrey and towards the coast. It's quite easy to get to.
Oh, that's good. Like,
good away days, good trips.
Oh, yeah. And you see, like, I see the trains or the coaches, and you just see, people with, beers in hand, with young generation and old generation, whoever, it doesn't matter. I think that's what I love most about, football culture in the UK in general is that, it's a tribal thing. Like if you go for your club, you are a part of something bigger. And I feel like with Wrexham, like you said, even just like I'm watching the doco again the other week, where rewatching the Coventry game, because we obviously saw it live and you saw how big the following was. But I think I was so worried about the game itself, I lost sight of how many fans went. But to see it again, it was fucking incredible. Like I've never seen anything like that.
But you're going to get obviously a lot of a big crowd for a game like that, a cup tie against a championship team with a bigger stadium, which will give a bigger allocation as well. Sometimes the allocation isn't always there, and certainly, I mean, for smaller clubs, but a game like that is going to sell out.
Yeah, for sure.
But the cup draw we have now, what a crap draw!
Oh, right.
Oh, fuck me.
I mean,
Mansfield again.
Do me a favour. Who wants to see that? We just played them.
2 weeks ago.
And I bet you it ends in a fucking draw.
And we go to fucking replay back at the racecourse. Jesus.
It's a tough game as well. But what's
like I said, game.
Blackpool for us, that with Blackpool away, we'd love the Wrexham fans would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people normally go for their stag weekends and their birthdays and that.
Oh, yeah.
Going to, I mean, that'd be a riot if we got Blackpool away. No, Mansfield. Why not Champton?
I've got
some big clubs that we missed out on.
Big memories. I've got major big memories of going to Blackpool as a kid, and that place is just pumping. Like it is. It's you got this big, massive jetty and theme park there, and all the restaurants, and that place just goes off. The beach is shit, but fuck me, like
the whole place is a shithole. The whole place is a shithole, but it's the best shithole in Europe. But you can't ask for any more than that, can you?
That's it.
That's right. That's right. There's even a shop there that does hamburgers for £1.
But I want to eat those. They're not hamburgers, trust me.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not. Or some horse meat or something.
Oh shit. Yeah, but I think I just think like with these away days and that they all get packed out, and it just seems to be very much that whenever Wrexham comes to town, that's like the most they'll ever see packed in their stadium for a long time. And it's the Wrexham effect, but I mean, what I've come to expect from our boys is that they will just give their all. I mean, there has been games, obviously, this season where it's just been flat. It's been,
Stockport,
been off their form. But when they're on the form, and one of the big things that excites me about Wrexham is that they're just going to keep coming at you. And doesn't matter it doesn't matter how hard you try to deal with that. You're going to run out of legs because they're just going to keep coming. And that's what I love about them.
Especially 100%. On Saturday with the substitutions that we were able to make. When you're bringing on players like Fletcher, Davis, you've got that in your squad. You can freshen up things, with players of that quality. And he made the substitution at the right time. And I think, and it obviously had an impact. And I think until the substitution, the game was a bit lackluster. We started to take over at that point, but to have the quality in the squad to bring on players like that to do the damage, that's what's so impressive about this team now.
I was massively hoping we would pull Chester.
That would be chaos. That would be absolute chaos.
Have you been to a Wrexham versus Chester match?
Not for a while, no. I lived in Chester for a bit.
Yeah.
As well. It's a nice place, all things considered, but the rivalry, we're going in different directions now. We've left them behind.
Yeah, we won't ever play them again unless it's in the cup.
It could have been. It could have been very like it if the gods had aligned in our favor, we could have very much drawn Chester. And
better than Mansfield, that's for sure. Shit.
But so you've actually witnessed a Wrexham versus Chester match.
That's what you want, don't you, in the FA Cup? If you're gonna go through, you want to beat an easy team, go through, stay in the competition. Or if you're gonna go out, play a big club, have a good day out, an exciting tie.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 tie.
Yeah,
it's not very interesting, is it?
No, and I would hate to go out first round against Mansfield and then be like, well, that sucked. Like, and even if we win, it's like, great. I hope we get someone better next round, because if we get something similar, it's just going to be real disappointing.
We'll get some.
Last season we should have beat Sheffield United.
Oh yeah.
We should have beat Sheffield United at home. We were moments
in that
away.
first leg. Oh, that leg.
Yeah.
Oh, far out. I mean, the first game, not the replay, but yeah, that first game when Mullin scored, I was in tears basically. I was just like it was stupid, like late in the night, like 4 a.m. or whatever. And I was like just celebrating like we'd won the World Cup, and I was kind of going nuts. And then yeah, just that fuck. And it's something that I was worried was going to happen against Salford. I had kind of like similar visions of us conceding really late. But then obviously Okonkwo saved us against Salford towards the end there, which was pretty amazing.
Save. That's the only chance they really had for long. They had the chance early on, a sitter they missed. They perhaps should have scored after about 10 minutes of the second half. And they didn't do much until that was a header, was it? Okonkwo save, which I thought was going in. It was a beautiful save. Brilliant stuff.
He's so good. He's got these long arms. He's huge.
I saw him against Newcastle in the EFL trophy, the EFL Cup, and he was a bit all over the place.
Yep.
But he's come on leaps and bounces, and he's really improved. He can be a bit erratic. He's got that about him, but I think he's quality good, great shot stopper. But he can be unpredictable at times. He's getting more consistent now.
I think he's shored up his spot as the starting goalkeeper, that's for sure. Yeah. But actually, it brings me to a good point. Controversial view. Do you think that we've seen the last of Rob Layton? You got Okonkwo in goal at the moment. McNichol's put in a hell of a shift. You got Chomp and those three goalkeepers are pretty good. Do we see Rob Layton again?
That's a great question, because he's been out for a lot longer than we expected.
Way longer.
He got injured down in Bromley, was it? Which he's got a bad track record there. He's been injured before down there. And I thought he would have been back by now. When was it, last March?
Yep.
It's coming on to 7-8 months. And I know the rehabilitation hasn't gone to plan. It might be. That's a good question. You'd have to think no. You'd have to think he's the fan favourite. He's probably the best keeper we have overall. But Okonkwo is showing, his quality. You'd have to say no, but we'll have to see. At the very least, he's above Howard, I think. So he'd be the reserve keeper. Worst case scenario. But it's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Will he play again at all? I don't really know what's happening with him.
Yeah, he threw that question to me midweek. Well, he didn't. He just said, "Hey, mate, just going to throw something at you. What if Rob Layton never plays again?" And we were like, I was like, and I never kind of pictured it. I was like, nah, of course he's going to come back. It's bound to happen. But like you said, it's just constantly delayed. And all of a sudden, you're going to get to a point where we're getting to that pointy end of the season where you're going, well, Okonkwo's doing his thing. Howard's doing his thing. Is it the right time to be bringing him in? Like you said, maybe just as a reserve keeper. But yeah, I'm starting to worry that possibly we might see the last of him. But would you suggest on that as well, if Rob Layton was fit and Arsenal, I think his contract's up in the summer, isn't it, for Okonkwo? Is that right?
January, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so like his loan will end and then his contract ends. Does Wrexham sign him? Well, I would assume they'd sign him, but then do they sign him if Rob Layton's fit? Like, do we go, well, okay, we've got Howard and we've got McNicholas or McNichols, I can't remember his last name, but we've got him as well. Do we pay the big bucks to keep him on board, or do we let that opportunity slip?
Well, I think they've got to.
Yeah,
he's too good. If the opportunity's there and the money is realistic, you go for it. He's too good to lose, I think, now.
Yeah.
But with Howard, that was a shocker how he's been dropped. I don't know why it's happened. Was he the fall guy for Stockport? Was he the scapegoat? Because I've mentioned this in my videos. I've been very impressed with Howard, the way he dealt with Foster coming on board. He would have thought he'd replaced Linton as the number one. And they've brought back Foster, all the attention, all the razzmatazz, a fantastic goalkeeper, a big personality. And again, Howard is shoved to the side. He's had to sort of accept, hang on, I've lost my place, which would have expected to get. He's dealt with that very professionally. He's come on board now on the start of the season. He's done well. And now again, he's lost his place. And he's handled himself with dignity. It says a lot about him. I'm disappointed it's happened, but it looks like it's working at the moment. You'd have to think that Leighton is, at the moment, the best goalkeeper at the club overall. He's the fans' choice for number one. You think he is the number one at the club, but if it carries on, he will lose his place. But you'd have to put him in the top two at the club. But they've got to sign a Conco. They've got to sign a Conco now. They don't let him go.
With all these games being as fierce as they are, and I've been paying attention to the other games that happen in the league, and it just appears to be that whenever people come to Wrexham, that's their cup final, and they, we're the scalp that they want to take. And it's just like the levels just go up more so than the other games in the league. And I think, how do you bring someone that's had 8, 9, 10 months, probably even a year by the time we see him again? How do you bring him back in to a squad like that? And granted, the squad's not settled. The squad's changing all the time at this stage. And, I think probably the only settled part of the squad at the moment is Lee, McLean, Palmer, Mullin, and Mendy if he's not injured.
And Hayden.
Like it just feels like that's the only settled part of the squad. Everything else is kind of being played with still. And Park, you can't quite find that solid every game 11 man. Like it's really a tough one. And how do you bring Leighton back into that?
The chance to do it is going. You do it. Usually, you do it in these cup games.
Yep.
But we're through now in the EFL Trophy, and you get to a stage now where you can perhaps win it or get to the final or do well. So you start playing a stronger team then. Yeah. So you're not going to risk him in a very crucial game.
Yep.
And there's going to be lots of crucial games now. Where would you risk him? Where would you give him a run out?
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for him. It's like I said, it's something I never thought about, to be honest. But it's a very, very interesting situation.
Yeah, and
it's going to be hard for him to get back.
We're in a situation with League Two. The top 10 is just so close. The top 10, the top 10 can, like, your top 4 can change 1 week to the next.
Yeah,
like
that's what it is doing. Yes, yeah.
I've never seen it this close.
MK Dons have just sacked their manager today. I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
which is an absolutely ridiculous decision. I don't know why they've done that.
That happened. Yeah. They've sacked their man. I mean, well, yeah. Look, they're in 16th place at the moment, and they were on top. But like we had them picked as one of the teams like that were going to be threats. But they've sacked their manager. That's news to me. So thanks for breaking.
It just happened just before we started recording.
No way.
No way. Really?
I think so. Well, as we've seen with Bradford, when managers get sacked, the team has a lift. A team has a lift. So we might be on the receiving end of that against Bradford because they've hit a bit of form since they sacked Mark Hughes. But MK Dons did look good against us. They started very well. Again, as you talk about, there's no one settled in that top 10.
Yeah.
It is chopping and changing. It is fluctuating. Teams you thought were Notts County had a good run. They've had some setbacks. Gillingham were flying. They've dropped down. It is open season. It's anybody's at the moment. But the top 10 is so strong, and we're all beating each other at the moment.
Yeah. It's just like it's like I always see it when it comes to like Championship, Premier League or whatever. They use the circle of life where they have like every team's beaten everyone and it just goes into a full circle. And I feel like we've already done that. And it's only like what what round are we at? 10? Like, we're not, not that many into the season. So, like it's a big one. But I think what I love about what you mentioned though is, I had Gillingham as a favorite. I had MK Dons as a favorite, and I had Notts as a favorite. And by that, I mean like to get automatic promotion. These were the three. And like you said, it's just not a sure thing. And all of a sudden, Stockport's back onto form now. And all of a sudden, we're like, right, well, at the start of this season, the favourite to win the whole thing was Stockport. And now it seems to be that they're settling into that kind of position. But does Gillingham come back? Do they settle themselves and get good? Because they've spent just as much money as we have to try and get out of this league. So it's almost like everyone in that top 10, if you name every one of those clubs, I reckon all of them have spent money to get out of this league this season, and like a lot of it.
Or spent money to compete with Wrexham.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what Chris said about we being cup finals, team see us as a cup final. In many ways, that was the case last year. I think it's because the hype around us.
Yeah.
The owners, the documentary, the razzmatazz. We're the media's darling. The media cover us more than anyone. There's more vloggers now. There's more articles on the websites. We're hot stuff. And I think that makes us a target. But we're also in now a division with lots of really good teams. Big clubs, historic clubs who have got backers, who have got a good infrastructure. Teams that have been in the championship only a couple of seasons ago. And so we're amongst a lot more, it's a lot more competitive now. And we struggled to adapt with that early on. I think a lot of teams are. It's not settling. We struggled. Initially, we were the favourites to win the league in the summer. We were odds on to get promoted. We were odds on to get promoted in one of the three positions. And there was a bit of a reality check and a bit of time needed to adjust because it is a strong league. Some teams are not showing us respect.
Yeah. At all. Like even the Crew game, not the cup, not the trophy game, but the actual league game. That felt like one of those ones where they weren't giving us the respect. I know it was close 1-0, but like we also had a red in that game. But that was another game where I felt like sorry, Crawley, far out. Yeah, what am I talking about? Crawley, that was a big one. And that was one of those ones where I was like, right, they have disrespected us. They've kind of gone, we're going to walk them here. We're going to absolutely pummel them. And what was it, 1-0? They couldn't do anything after that. We kept it that way, and it didn't need to change. And Crawley is that game where I'm like, right, you're right. We do have a target on our back. And there are teams who either rise to the occasion or people who take it for granted because they've seen us get rolled against Stockport and they've gone, well, we can beat them. And I feel like it's either one of two minds. Salford, I think, came out giving us respect, but they just didn't have the fitness to see out the 90. But like you said, I'm trying to think Crawley. I'm trying to think of who else didn't give us the respect. I would say Grimsby, but I don't know. That's another one.
Well, we thrashed it out, the best performance that I've seen. Just before the Stockport defeat, which I thought that was when we turned the corner. I thought that performance, right, that's it now. We're unstoppable.
Yep.
We've got to grips with it because that performance against Grimsby is probably still the performance of the season, perhaps.
Yep.
And the next game, we get thrashed completely out the blue against the Stockport team struggling at that time. They've gone on to improve dramatically, but that was a shocker to lose 5-0 after such an impressive performance against Grimsby, which shows, you've got to try and keep going. Don't take anything for granted. As I said, there's a lot of top teams. The top 10 is anybody's. And teams like Crawley, I didn't look at as a threat. Mansfield, decent teams, but they're showing the strength and depth of this league.
Yep.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. So, what I will say though is, or ask of you, if you could put your money on something, if you could say, right here today, come April, end of April next year, will we be automatically promoted? Will we be back to back, or will we be in the playoffs or outside? Where would you say, given how we're going?
Where we are now, it's still not as consistent as I'd like it.
Yeah.
A great comeback on Saturday, but we can't keep doing that.
Nope.
Because we just won't get. We'll just drop points, and and I'll probably drop dead. But but we'll drop too many points if we can. We can't keep doing that. I think as it stands now, we'll be in the playoffs, top 7.
Yeah.
From where we are now, I think the consistency is not there, like for most clubs, but it's a very, very strong top 10. I think we'll make the playoffs based on what I'm seeing at the moment.
Agreed.
Not bad.
But the best thing for me is we're guaranteed to stay in the league.
Yeah.
So
that's it, right?
Worst case scenario, we're back. We're still in the Football League next year, which in many ways is that the opportunity to lay the foundations. You don't want to go up too fast, too soon, and not be ready. Or lay the foundations now, or do you just capitalize on this momentum? I'm not sure we can get a team like this again.
No,
I mean, I kind of feel I'm looking at it. I mean, I might be looking at it with rose-tinted glasses, or through beer goggles, or I might be high, but I kind of look at it as like it kind of feels right now like momentum's sort of shifting in our favor. Like we've had some pretty good performances, quite steady, quite convincing performances, in my opinion, except for obviously maybe on the weekend, but that was a different case altogether and a different style of game. But we're still going to have these games, and we're still going to come at teams, even if we're 1-2-0 up, we'll still come at them. I kind of get the feeling that I think it might end up after Christmas being Stockport Wrexham, and it'll be a replay of last year with Notts and Wrexham going backwards and forwards. I kind of starting to feel that that's where this is possibly going to go, because we're only one win off the top. Yeah. And that we've seen how quick that can change even after the weekend. So I don't know, maybe it's my rose-colored glasses and my love for Wrexham, but I just think that it's I can just start to see it coming into fruition that it might be a Stockport Wrexham backwards and forwards.
I wouldn't rule that out. I think the last few seasons, or the last 2 seasons certainly, they've come on strong after Christmas. They kind of set it up before. And you think when we finished second to Stockport, that we were 6th in January that season.
Yeah.
I remember, when we played Torquay was there, and Yeovil, January, February, we were 6th. And then we kicked on from there and had a great title race with Stockport. Similar last year, but for mostly last season, there was only 2 clubs in it.
Yeah.
Us and Notts County. But we tend to kick on better lately after Christmas. We set it up before then.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're doing that. Top 5, top 6, top 7 is a good place to be at Christmas.
Oh yeah, I've got an interesting stat for you actually, which I stumbled across, and it's just a random fact. But last time we were promoted from this very same league we're in now, we had exactly the same record as we do now after 12 games. And the current leaders have the exact same win, draw, loss record as they do now. So
I think I saw that somewhere myself. Yeah, I think I saw it posted out somewhere. Well, yeah, there's an omen there. It's looking good.
Yeah.
So again, that's something to be optimistic about. But I still need to see a bit more yet.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm just going to see a bit more. Try and break away from, that the top 7 needs to break away from the rest. I think you could probably go down to 13. And when the gap is probably quite narrow from 1 to 13. If you probably go back, I remember last week, I think it was 6 points between 13 and the top. I don't know what it is today. So I think I'd like to see just a small group break away first.
Yeah.
And just to see a bit more consistency.
Agreed.
Another question for you. Does Fletcher start? Or is he forever destined to be a super sub?
I've spoken about this in a couple of videos. you'd think his experience, his age might be against him. Is he better coming on? Is he better coming on fresh with his ability, his quality, and just catching the defenders tired? Is he better as an impact player? I think that might be his role, if I'm honest.
I'm with you. I'm exactly the same. I think that Fletcher's destined to be that role. I even said when we signed him, I remember watching him because through the Scottish League, well, a couple of years back now, but he was great. But and if you're gonna age and you're gonna be aged out by your opponents, he'd be playing on defenders, 10 years he's younger than him, so they're going to be able to outrun him. And the minute he came in and the fact that he wasn't even starting in any of the games, I was like, right, it's purely fitness. And I kind of thought the same thing with Evans, to be honest, but actually Evans is a bit younger, but I kind of assumed that would be a similar thing, but that's kind of shifted. But I think you're right. Fletcher has to make that impact, to strike when the defense is tired. That obviously has to be the momentum shifter. What do you think of Dolby's season so far? Obviously not performing the way we used to as a super sub last year. Obviously starting a lot more. What is your opinion of his season so far?
Well, I don't think he's done much as yet. I think he finished last season very strong. And you're thinking, hang on, we've got the next standard, we've got the backup we need. So Mullin and Palmer, because it looks like Mullin and Palmer are Parky's first choice.
Yep.
They bring different aspects to the game. They've got different qualities. I'm not sure how well it's working. Palmer is way too inconsistent. He's not scoring enough goals for a striker. So it looks like that's Parky's first choice. Dolby, it hasn't really gone for him so far. And we were hoping he'd be the backup. I always felt we needed another Mullin. We missed out on Luke Armstrong. We always needed a younger striker who's going to get 20 plus goals to be, serious backup to Mullin. And we were hoping Dolby was going to be that. He hasn't had much opportunities. He hasn't really been. It's been difficult for him, I think.
Yeah.
To get the game time, but he hasn't had the impact he did the back end of last year. Bickerstaff started well. I've spoken to people who rate Bickerstaff more than Dolby, and he's always had a good reputation, Bickerstaff, for a few years coming through. But we still need that backup to Mullin. And I'm not sure who it is. Is it Lee? He's the top goal scorer at the moment. Should it be Lee? We need that, another out-and-out striker.
I think Mullin is we've said it many times, he's a god. But I think he's going to have a very tough time this season because everyone knows about him. Everyone who's anyone knows Mullin. And I just think that a lot of teams are making a point to try and shut him down. The problem is with doing that, it opens up other avenues and we've got more people that can score goals, which is kind of stupid. I don't think, if it continues this way, I don't see Mullin having a big, massive goal haul this season.
No.
But what that does bring is it opens up the avenues for other places because you draw 3 defenders. Who the fuck are you going to have defending anywhere else? It's like you can't just focus all your attention on that. But then on the flip side is if you don't do that, if you don't try and shut down Mullin, he goes and scores goals. Like what happened the other week. He scored 2 because they let him lose.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Chris, because, they have to try and stop him because he's so dangerous. But as I said, it opens up the game and opportunities for others. And I thought that happened on Saturday down the right-hand side for Aaron James, which was a big move to start with such a young lad. He got forward a lot, certainly in the first half, because I was down my side of the pitch, so I can see a lot of that. There's a lot of space for him in the first half, James, to get forward, because I thought Palmer and Mullin had pulled the defence, to the centre of the goal, to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah.
If you, like I said, if you focus on the danger man, it's going to leave opportunities for others. But he's so dangerous, you have to. and he should have scored himself on Saturday.
Yeah.
He had a great chance in the first half. You expect him to bury those, which he created mostly himself. He's such technically gifted. He's a complete player.
But his cross.
But is he struggling? Is he struggling with the injury? He had a slow start. He's still getting back to his best.
Yeah, I think so. And his cross to Fletcher was just stuff of dreams. Like, cream your pants type thing. Like that cross was so clean. The fact it went through 3 defenders running down alongside him, one guy trying to shut him off and cut him off up in the top corner of the box, and he just slots it straight across, and you just like, fuck me dead like that. This guy's like, he can fucking play.
He's just so technically
more than a
minded.
goal scorer.
Yeah, exactly. He's more than a goal scorer. He's so technically minded. Like he can read the play. It's kind of what I thought McLean, or I think McLean's got as well, which is he can just read where everyone needs to be at the right time to cross the ball in, to make the play, to make the run as well. But Mullin, obviously, so different than other strikers. Strikers are known to have, big egos and, quite selfish. But obviously, I know Mullin can sometimes, be a bit goal hungry in the sense that he might have been able to pass to Palmer on a few occasions this weekend, but it's not often that happens. Whereas he's so open to giving off the ball to Lee, to Palmer, to anyone who's available. I think it's just it's a superpower, really, that he's got. On the Luke Armstrong, you mentioned that. Do you think we try again in January?
Nah.
I'm not sure. I still haven't worked out what's happened there, because we were interested in him for a long time before Mullin got injured. And to leave it so late, and someone hasn't come out and accepted responsibility for it. I mean, whoever's responsible needs to thrash him, in my opinion. But so
the fax machine.
You can't blame Harrogate maybe demanding too much money or mucking around. We could have acted a lot faster and a lot more efficiently, because we were after him for months, apparently. And we could have closed that deal a lot faster.
Yeah, for sure.
So does that mean, do you think, so you reckon we go again? If we got Fletcher out of it, which worked out, like we fluked it.
Yeah.
But do we go for him again?
Well, I think you do if you move on Dolby or Bickerstaff and create room for him. He's in his prime. This is a striker that's in his prime, a player that's in his prime. So if the opportunity is there, I think you have to.
Yeah.
And maybe move on someone who isn't quite doing it to create the space for him in the squad. But as you said, Fletcher wasn't a bad alternative.
Yeah.
When they moved quickly, that came out of the blue, and he's proven his worth. And as I say, I think if he starts, the pressure might be on. He's better coming on as an impact player, like he's doing. It's working well for him.
It is indeed. Sorry.
Oh.
Camera drop there. There we go.
Adrian, mate, what are you doing?
Technical difficulties, as we do.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Luke Armstrong's only scored 1 goal this season, so I don't know what's going on there. But
you also got to think the players might be a bit disgruntled, because the guy's literally said his goodbyes to the club. He said, "See you later." He was at Wrexham. They had a post ready. They have a picture with him and a jersey, and it gets pulled from the rug from under him. And then luckily Harrogate, they spent the money. That's what I feel bad for. They spent the 500,000 on someone, brought him in, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we don't have that money anymore." What do we do?
I think we've got the players and the quality to provide him with more opportunities, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. So your YouTube channel, how long have you had it?
August 2020.
August 2020.
Yeah.
So you got a decent following. It rivals the Fearless and Devotion boys and the Rob Ryan Red. So
Tim's the governor. Tim's the legend. Yeah.
Loved him. Loved him.
Yeah.
But where can we find you? Do you want to just plug yourself real quick to our listeners?
Yeah, on the Welsh Beast Sports YouTube channel. We're on Instagram as well. Facebook, not as active on them as the others. Twitter as well. Probably Welsh Beast Sports Twitter. and YouTube is where we're more active, or I'm more active at the moment. But yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, should be on TikTok. We've got a TikTok account, not very active. It's too much time sometimes.
I can't get my head around TikTok.
No, I haven't tried yet, but it's something I'll perhaps have to try. Yeah, so Welsh Beast on YouTube is the place to go at the moment. And, well, I call it Twitter. It's now X.
Oh, that's right.
I like Elon Musk. But he's done a bloody stupid thing there, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he does his own thing. Fair play to him. He does his own thing. That's what I like about him.
Just makes his own decisions, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm just renaming the company. And like the next day he had the headquarters. He took down the
was there. He threatened to do it and he just did it. That takes some balls now. That doesn't fuck about, does he?
No, not at all.
That's right. Well, Carl, Welsh Beast, thank you so much for coming on our show today.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
I'd love to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely have you back on. So, guys, if you're interested, links will be in the description for his YouTube channel and his Twitter. Definitely go over, pop a subscribe over there, show some love. He's given up his time to come on our show today and give us an absolute cracking interview, mate.
Yes,
we've loved having you, man. We'll gladly have you back.
You're like a bit of a celebrity for us, so like we're kind of like this is.
I tick along doing my stuff.
Well, we loved having you on, mate. It really was awesome, and it's great to get to know you. And definitely, when we come down to Wrexham one day, we'll definitely have to buy you a few beers.
That's
absolutely.
Right.
I'll be back drinking then. Don't worry.
So after this, we'll wrap things up. Thank you. Let's go. What a dead set legend. Dead set legend. I fucking love Welsh Beast, mate. He's awesome. I can't wait. We'll have him back on the show for sure. So
I was a bit starstruck, mate. It's like when you watch YouTube videos of someone for a while and then you're like, oh my God, he's actually talking to us. He's actually talking back. So no, it was really fun. And I felt like it was a really good deep dive into the season as well. So really
it was a very, very full on analytical episode. So I really enjoyed that. So we've got this weekend as well. We've got Bradford City again. Seems like we've faced them like 4 or 5 times already this season, doesn't it?
They just keep popping up, mate. Like
everywhere. So we got them again, and we obviously know what their position is, and they're doing all right. They've obviously after they got rid of their manager.
3 on the bounce, mate. 3 on the bounce since they sacked their manager. 2 in the league, 1 in the cup. It'd be real interesting to see what they bring.
That sounds a little kinky. I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but we'll just move on.
But I'll slide into your DMs later. And I'll continue that wavelength. Yeah.
Mate. But no, so I think we look forward to it this weekend. I have a funny feeling this is going to be a big game. And
of course, every game is now a big game, isn't it?
It's going to be a turnaround game. I'm going to predict 3-0.
I'm on the same wavelength. I'm on 2-0. I just don't see us scoring that many if we're in control. The only time I feel like we score a lot of goals is when we're coming back from a deficit. So, anyways,
there does. I know we spoke about it with Welsh Beast there. That teams tend to, once they get rid of their managers,
they rise to the occasion.
But then they fall.
Yeah.
And maybe this weekend will be the fall. So that's where my hope.
He's hoping.
Our women played during the week.
Mate.
That was an absolute stomping.
13-0, mate. 13-0. It was something epic. I watched the full thing. 8-0 at halftime. It was party time. It was a big one. I think we played division below us, that team. So, is to be understood. The park, that the pitch they played on looked like a fucking paddock, like a genuine paddock. And I realized how hard, I always realize how hard the women have it, but they obviously have it extra hard this weekend, and they still put 13 past them, which was epic. And I couldn't fault anything. If you are on iFollow now and you have an iFollow subscription like Rousey and I do to watch the games, you can actually now watch the women play. So if they're not on any TV rights, so I think it's S, what is it? S4? So whatever the channel is.
S4, yeah.
S4. Then if they're not on that, then they will be on iFollow. So it's great for us international fans because now we can properly watch every game and really enjoy it. And having Mark Griffiths there for the commentary as well, just chef's kiss.
Just feels like we're one step away from having him feature every game at the Racecourse. So
it would be nice. It would be nice.
So anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode today. It was an amazing opportunity to get to talk to Mr. Welsh Beast, and be sure to go give him a like and subscribe. And again, as well, if you like this content, let us know down below and click like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to become a fuckhead, all the links will be in the description. Just click the link tree and follow the instructions from there. So, guys, Adrian, it's been great. We'll see you guys next week. Up the town.
Let's get that win, boys.
Yeah, boy.